Hi everyone, we got a lot of great material in store for you.
So final grades are based on completion of the learning activities and assignments detailed for each module of the course. These total to 100 points. 4 types of assignments contribute to the final grade. Quizzes are 20% of your grade. Attendance, and this is evidence of logging in to the IPHS 494 Blackboard site at least 3 times a week. 30% is for class participation, and this is manifested in discussion forums. 35% are from the toolkit components, and then 10% is from that final report and presentation to the governing body that we opened up our first video with. So why don't we dive into more details? Dr. Chan?
Let's talk about grades. Let's start with quizzes. They make up about 25% of your grade, which 22% is derived from quizzes based on readings and resources and case studies from weeks 2 to 14, and 3% from simulation exercises. For each week of the course, quizzes will assess students' knowledge of key concepts and information related to that module. Each quiz will consist of 15 multiple-choice questions drawn randomly from a large pool of questions covering the course content, reading, and case studies for that module. Students may retake the quiz up to a maximum of 3 attempts, with the highest score counting toward the final grade in this course. So, Dr. Shapiro, first, you want to talk about the class participation?
I would love to. So we weight class participation very heavily for 30% of your grade. So there are several categories of participation. In addition, there will be a peer and self-evaluation for group participation that is due during week 15. These components are weighted like this. 25% of your active participation will be measured in weekly discussion forums. Each module, students will be assigned to a new group, not like the teams from your toolkit, which stay the same throughout the semester. Each discussion forum will be a new group per module. That way you'll get to interact with more students. The next part of your participation grade is derived from the toolkit. This course seeks to provide students with knowledge, skills, and tools that are useful in actual public health practice. So a substantial part of the course and of each student's grade in the course focuses on a series of public health practice, policy, and management tools that students will add to their individual toolkits throughout the course. Generally, these will derive from the workshop segment of weeks 1 through 14 class sessions, in which students will work in groups to draft these various tools. All these tools proposed by the groups are posted on a discussion board pertaining to each module, and then each student will devise a toolkit and propose tools based on these sources to submit. Each of the 7 subsequent submissions will contribute up to 5 points for your final grade and for the final 15-week tool, an organization accreditation proposal that we talked about in our initial video. Dr. Chan will now describe to you the final report and presentation to the governing body that we've been referring to throughout the course of these videos.
The final report and presentation to the governing body is 10% of your final grade. Remember all those toolkits you worked on? They all culminate into this final report, due in week 15. It includes readings and resources, lecture slides, and videos and case studies that were used in the discussion board that will be developed into this final report and presentation to the governing body. This report and presentation, to be completed as a team rather than individual students, will demonstrate your understanding and ability to synthesize and apply course content. The presentation, which is an oral presentation using PowerPoint slides or equivalent slides to accompany an oral presentation of the plan to the board. The presentation should be no longer than 15 minutes with a 5 to 10 minute window for questions and answers from your board, which is your classmates. Each team member should contribute, play a part in the oral presentation. Now that you learned all the different components that makes up your grade, there's one last part that's really important, and that is evaluation, team evaluation, which makes up 5% of your final grade. This is a great opportunity for you to praise your team members for their great work, contribution, and dedication to all the different assignments throughout this course, as well as share your concerns and feedback about your team member. And all of this is anonymous to your team members. So be sure to complete this assignment with honesty and integrity.
Thank you for tuning in.
And see you on Blackboard.